This is Martin Maes. With 3 wins in 3 starts, the 22-year-old currently has the Enduro World Series on lockdown. But in the not-so-distant future, the acronyms WADA and TUE will mean that his dreams for the championships will be over.
And like all of a sudden it's like, boom, what the f***'s going on, you know?
I own a stove-long trapper, waterboard and nothing but smoke. Property, I'm sleeping on the saddle, and I wouldn't have to pay my shadow. In the desert, ain't got no love for bones. Ain't no better tempo, just a knife and stone.
The Edge. Ask the racers here in the Dolomites to describe it, and you'll most likely get one of 2 responses. The Edge is the Faustian bargain, where a rider trades control for speed. Or it's the extra sharpness essential for an athlete to be truly competitive on race day. In reality, neither definition is easy to execute if you've been off the bike or away from the races for any significant amount of time.
First time back at an EWS since my injury, and first time back in the Alps.
The ambiguity of the Edge means that even for the best riders on the planet, a perfect race run is virtually impossible.
I crashed like second corner, so it kind of put me off a little bit.
But when mistakes, errors, or omissions happen off the track, the world of top-tier competitive sport is very much black and white. After returning a positive test late last season, Richie Rude is another rider back on his bike here in Canazei. And the American is eager to see if the Edge is still out there.
You know, end of the year, you kind of know you probably won't be at the first couple rounds. Was kind of a bit of a shock and a little hard to deal with over the winter. I didn't have like a set date of when I was gonna start racing, so I was just kind of having fun, ride fast. Felt like I started to love like mountain biking a bit more. But on the back of my head, I was getting, pretty hungry to race again.
It's a return to racing that's been eagerly anticipated by the fans who appreciate the dedication the 2-time EWS champ puts toward his craft. And welcomed by the sports insiders who understand the nuances of a complicated situation.
You know, half the people that are getting sanctions for failing a doping test are people who have made genuine mistakes and people who just, maybe didn't check the label or didn't stay up to date with what's on the WADA list. The fact that Richie came back the weekend Martin went away is just really bad timing, to be honest.
An unavoidable reality of racing at this level is that understanding exactly what can and can't go into the body of a modern professional enduro racer entails a learning curve much steeper than any of the mountains here in Italy.
A good portion of the general population on an average day, if they have a cold or allergies or other health issue, wouldn't even think twice to take a medication that would land you on that list.
I was racing a non-EWS event 2 weeks prior to the EWS in Rotorua, and I cut my leg, which got infected. I got a prescription from the doctor of the event telling me that I had to hurry and take those medicines, which was a masking agent, so it was prohibited on the WADA list. It's a huge mistake, and I'm extremely frustrated not to be racing here in Canazei.
It was really a wake-up call for a lot of riders to take things seriously and realize how easy it is to make a simple mistake. Martin took it like a true sportsman, and I think he'll come back stronger and move on.
In the 6-year history of the Enduro World Series, championships have been decided by skill, by racecraft, by mechanicals, and by injury. But the specter of suspension has yet to definitively alter the leaderboard. Until now.
You have riders like Sam Hill, whose season started kind of slow, and all of a sudden he's looking very competitive for the end of the year if he still wants to take a 3rd world title.
I couldn't walk tracks this week because my foot hurts. That's the thing with injuries. You know, people see someone out with injury and then they see them come back and they just think, oh, that's fixed, forget about it, it's gone. You know, you're still dealing with it for quite a long time after you might be back riding. Foot rehab went pretty quick actually. Came back from Madeira, straight back on the rehab wagon. Went and saw the doctor, and yeah, he was really positive about it.
Ready, 3, 2, 1, jump.
We were measuring on a machine the difference in strength. Within 2 weeks, I went from a 35% difference to a 12% difference.
There's no reason why you can't squat or deadlift. Okay?
Acting cocky when them quarter horses dip through. And if you never heard the ghetto whisper, metal twist your brain around.
It does it for you, like, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, you just need to get the head down, focus a bit harder, work a bit harder, and narrow that gap again.
That stays there. That doesn't move.
I was 6 weeks total off the bike, and then once they gave me the all clear, I was able to get back on the bike. You feel like everything's good and you're just going to rock up to the race and kill it. But then when you get to a race, you realise how hard it is to have that extra edge, especially in the middle of a season, you know, when everyone's been racing and building that edge further and further.
Oh my God, bike racing is hard. That was so hard to judge, like, it's so loose.
Once you drop in for the race, the tracks are that much blown out, you add in the fatigue of racing and the pressure, and I was just making mistakes and riding tight, to be honest.
Definitely blowing out a bit from practice, but not having a race, you know, I could go all off season, kind of have a bit more fun, so that's kind of what I did, and hoping the form's there, and I feel like it is, so I'm happy. There's one little left-hander, and I got a little too zesty in it, and then I was like, all right, calm down. Got the whole rest of the day to go. Don't blow in the first stage.
If you're lucky, baby, I'll even...
I'm riding, thinking about everyone that loves and supports me, and I'm just like, just have a good time, even if it's serious.
I think I was like a bit on saving some energy for the last one. It's the biggest one of the weekend, and obviously everything can be done on this one, so let's race.
Yeah, on 5, how long it is, gotta conserve a bit. What's good is a couple fly roads, so you can kind of conserve your hands.
Pray that you make it to the finish line with your hands on the handlebars.
I was walking up the last climb to the last stage. I kind of had to just stop, look around, and I was like, this is not bad. Yeah, we've got it pretty sweet where we are and what we're doing.
Obviously, like a top 10 seems quite tight. Like, have that in the back of your head, knowing you got to keep doing well to stay up in the overall.
You know, now with the gaps being narrower, it's pretty easy to drop or jump positions.
You can't really empty the tank fully, but at the same time you can't slack, because if you're slacking, someone else is charging.
You know, I would have been happy with 20th place, so I was just kind of happy to be out on my bike racing again. To get that win was pretty all-time.
The honest reality of the edge is that you either understand it or you don't. Racers might not always know exactly where it is, but they know when they've been riding it, and once they've gone over it. The winners are those who can best balance control and aggression, strategy with raw speed. And with the Enduro World Series title now very much in play, riding that edge has suddenly become a lot more appealing to a whole host of new contenders. Next on Track.
To me, a privateer is someone who's fully self-funded.
drive themselves around the groceries, making food.
They're probably their own mechanic.
Being on a team was really cool. I don't want to say family, because like, it kind of gets like overplayed. People are like, these guys are like my brothers, man.
Each brand will have, you know, some kind of factory team or direct support to the rider.
These stages are so good.